Well, this is Zig Ziggerblatt for my very first video, a video response to the Punk Patriot about the question, what would happen if nobody paid back their student loans? I am completely bogged down with student loan debt. I have a degree in finance. I'm not a finance professor. I've taken a short look into what would happen. There's approximately around $800 billion in student loans out right now. That's just over or around the size of that $700 billion bailout. If no one were to pay this back, it would be the equivalent of doubling that financial crisis, another bailout, the same amount, and as though it was not paid back. Would that collapse the entire country? I don't know. I have a feeling that it would increase prices. Inflation would skyrocket. I know that student loans would become less available in smaller amounts. At the same time, student loan interest rates would go up. Now, right now, I know this is a skyrocketing problem, and I know that student loan rates are increasing and have been increasing for some time. At the same time, you're getting less money, comparatively speaking, to the cost of tuition. So education is in fact becoming less available, more expensive. The people who do not have the money to get the education up front are going into debt for longer. And this is a fact. And if people were not pay back their student loans, I would predict these problems. I would predict the problems we're already having and that they would continue to increase. And that is exactly what's happening, and I believe that people are not paying it back through no choice of their own. If you know anything about student loans, you take these loans, you are tied to the government for life on these loans. You're not getting away with it. You're not going to bankrupt it unless you don't make any money for 10 to 20 years. And nobody's going to willingly choose to do that. No one's willingly skipping out on their student loans, and you can't, even if you wanted to. So what the case is that good-intentioned people are looking for work, are not finding it, or they're finding work that does not pay enough to enable them to pay the minimum payment on the student loans. The government then works with them and they pay $20 a month, or they pay nothing. And after 10 to 20 years of not making any money and stagnant wages, they can or may have their student loans forgiven. And so it's not a choice. It's not a method of protest. Nobody's going to be able to willingly not pay their student loans if they are employed, unless, of course, you are self-employed. And then I'm sure there are ways that you could do things, but still, not happening. So, yeah, I do believe this is happening. I believe the problem is going to increase, and I believe the result is less access to education, higher interest rates, students coming out saddled with lifelong debts, and not being able to take advantage of the low-wage starting positions in their careers because of these debts. So they're being locked out of the very career they've worked to put themselves into. And that is the result. You would need to contact a finance professor who would be able to look at it even deeper to find the greater implications and what this would do to the budget and the government. But I think, at least from my personal experience and at least the knowledge that there are approximately $800 billion in these student loans out now, that is the best I can do to answer this question. Great question. I hope to hear other great answers, and very good question, very crucial to our future. I believe everyone has a right and obligation to obtain the highest level of education in their chosen field. An obligation, not just a right, to this access. And I see it crumbling. It wasn't there to begin with, and it's crumbling. And it makes me sick. I feel lucky to have gotten the degree I have by now, because it'd be much harder, if not impossible, for me to have done that today. And tomorrow, I can't see my children having the chance to do that unless I have the money in cash. Looks like it's time to move to Finland. Well, thanks for the question. My first video here. Hope people find that helpful. Thank you.